I play quarterback here at Oklahoma State, and I could not be more excited to be here. The town's been awesome, and I'm real excited.
Yeah, man. You've had like one heck of a story, honestly. Like it was kind of crazy watching you ping around. I had a lot of my friends go to Texas Tech. I actually think you might know one of them, Eric Ezukama.
Yeah,
we went to the same. Yeah, we went to the same high school. So he was like my little claim to fame. I used to play football with him out in the street, and then
he's killing it in the Dolphins right now.
yeah, man. Like,
boys, yeah, my gosh, he's a good
yeah,
player.
he's a hell of a player. You
Though.
had some great receivers over at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I've been lucky to be partnered with some of those guys, especially Eric's probably the best one. My God, and Antoine Wesley played pretty well too. He's in the Cardinals, so. But we got some dogs here now. I'll tell you that much. We got some dogs here. So
yeah, you're 100% right. And Texas Tech and Oklahoma State are like very similar in my opinion. Both claim, Michael Crabtree, Justin Blackman. That rivalry is never going to end. And the wide receiver rooms that they've had between the two of them have just been incredible, like through the years. So, I mean, when you left Texas Tech and then you went to Michigan, like ultimately, what made you come to Oklahoma State?
So the number one thing that I was looking at was the best fit for me and to be able to play, right? It was going to be my 6th year of college football. And the funniest thing, what always brings up in my mind when I think about this is most people that play 6th or 7th years, like a Stetson Bennett or like a Hendon Hooker, played 7 years, is they were kind of nobodies or like a walk-on, come in and then kind of have to develop 2 or 3 years, maybe go to a JUCO, then come back. And then they kind of jump on the scene year 5, 6, 7. Crazy thing about my story is that I was on the scene immediately as a true freshman in 2018. Yeah. And as my buddies like to remind me, I was putting up numbers before Joe Burrow was even at LSU putting up numbers. And here I am, and Joe Burrow's doing what he's doing. So it's just kind of a different situation where most guys come on later in their career and play 6, 7 years. And where I sort of came on the scene hot, went through some injuries, went through some coaching changes, went through some battling with different changes of schools. And then now I'm back, right? And so I think it's just a different way to do it. And so what ultimately brought me to Oklahoma State was just the culture that, I mean, there's just been so many things. It was like normally it's kind of like when you're like kind of finding a girlfriend or like finding a girl, like when you know. And when me and my dad left Stillwater for the first, it was like, it's not even close. We got to come here. But the couple top reasons why Oklahoma State just fits so well was the offense is huge, right? So we are turning it a little bit different on the offense, but Oklahoma State is known for throwing the ball down the field, big, tall receivers, and putting up a lot of points. That is what I love, number one, and I've been able to do at a high level at Texas Tech. Also, now another kink in what we're trying to do on offense is we want to take care of the football. We want to establish a run game. We want to get under center a little bit. We want to get in different personnels and different packages and go and be able to play action people. And guess what I just did for the past 2 years? I did all of that at Michigan. So they're like, hey, we want to throw it a lot, but then we also want to take care of the ball and go under center. And I'm like, well, guess what? I'm your guy. And it just, that was kind of the best like conjoining of forces there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know this is the first time we've ever talked, which is like really cool because, I was used to being in Stillwater for so long until I graduated last year, and I was friends with a lot of the athletes. And people would ask me all the time, like, how I got on such big guys. And I was like, dude, I was always on the strip. And anytime they went out, I was going to go up and buy them a drink or whatever. But do you feel like going into Texas Tech, do you have like a little bit of a revenge or hell, even TCU, which is like all behind me. But like, do you feel like that chip on your shoulder? Well, my stepdad's in the Hall of Fame for TCU. A lot of my family played college football and pro football. And I'm not athletic, so I have a podcast. So
nice. Well, I see the pokes. We got some pokes right in front of the helmet too, so that's great.
Yeah.
Pokes are up front. All that matters. So,
but do you feel like you're going into like the Texas Tech? I mean, we don't get to play in this year unless they make the Big 12 championship as well.
I know. That's one thing that I was just real upset when the schedule came out. That especially being from Dallas and being from Texas, to not play TCU, to not play Baylor, to not play UT, to not play Texas Tech. That kind of hurt in a way where, that kind of alarm. Do my assignments for class. Stay in school, kids.
Even better.
So the difference, like, it hurt me because I really wanted to go. Because normally, I mean, Oklahoma State's played Texas Tech for like 25 years straight, and then it's home and away every other year, and we would have gone into Lubbock, and I feel like that just like for TV ratings, for atmosphere, for the fans, for everybody, for us to kind of like, I hate to bring the name up, but Baker Mayfield-esque kind of going back into Lubbock. I was really excited for that. I feel like that would have been a really cool experience, not only for me, but for like the whole team to kind of go back into that. So, and then especially teams like TCU, right? Grew up in Dallas. That's 20 minutes from my house. We grew up in the same area, me and you. So it's kind of bummed, but hopefully one of them makes the Big 12 championship and we'll meet them there, and then we'll get the revenge then.
Yeah, the Big 12 kind of like, well, we got one Texas school, and that one last Texas school that we have is Houston. And man, you 605 yards you threw?
Yeah, so that was my freshman year. We had kind of a crazy whirlwind the first like 4 or 5 games. I'll tell a funny story. I don't know if this is true or not, but crazy how life's happened. I think life, and especially in college football, but just in life, is just about taking advantage of opportunities that are given to you when the opportunity arises. So my true freshman year is going into the first game of the season. We had a senior quarterback that played a couple games the year prior, but not much. And then it was myself and the guy named Jet Duffy. And we were like sort of splitting the backup reps going into that game. But sorry to say this, Jet, love you, but he was late to the bus to leave we were missing the first game. He was late to the bus. And so I guess that like put me maybe a little bit ahead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit ahead. And I mean, I'm sitting there talking, which is hilarious, to Eric Izukadma from your high school on the sideline, like, wow, man, like this is our first college football game. Like we've dreamed of this. Like how crazy is this? Like we're really here, like suited up on the sideline. And I mean, not even 45 seconds later, our starting quarterback breaks his ankle and they're like, Bowman, get warm. And I'm like, and like reality hits so fast. And I think and I ended up going in the game, and we were playing Ole Miss with like DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Dawson Knox, Jordan Teamu, Greg Little, like all the freaks, right? Yeah. And I think what helped me the most is I didn't have time to like freak out about it of like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? If I would have had to like had the whole preseason lead up and then like the whole game week as like a 17 just turned 18-year-old kid, I probably would have freaked out a little bit, but I didn't have time. It was like, all right, you get about 3 throws and then you're going in 3rd and 5, go. So got thrown in the game then, and then the next game it was like 77-0 or something against Lamar, and then we had Houston at home, and we beat them the year prior, and Coach King was really good schematically and kind of knew what we did the year prior, what they were going to try to stop. And it was just one of those perfect storm games where the offense was hot, we were blocking everything, and I mean no one could stop us. But it was a classic Texas Tech shootout, which I know we're not going to have to worry about here because we play some defense.
Yeah.
So, but at Texas Tech, it was a shoot. I think it was like 63-56 or something like that. But no, yeah, Antoine Wesley, the guy that I said previous, went for like 250 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, 605 yards was crazy. It was nuts. That was a fun one though.
Yeah, I remember seeing that stat line. I was talking some shit on Twitter. I don't know if you follow me, but yeah, very story to count. And someone was like from Texas Tech was like, "Oh, Alan Bowman did throw for 605 yards," and I was like, "No way!" And I had to like go through your full stat line after that because I was like, "That's a ridiculous stat." But following that game, by the way, my freshman year at Oklahoma State was 2018.
There you go.
And everyone was hyped up about the Texas Tech game, and then you came in and beat us for the first time since 2009.
Yeah,
I mean, was that just like a roller coaster?
So everything happened so fast, right? So like I said, from me saying Bowman get warm against Ole Miss in week 1 to week 4 coming into Stillwater, it's like there's so much things. I was a nobody. I wasn't that highly recruited out of high school. Coming in, nobody knew my name. I just came